You are listening to The Joyce Aldrich Show at CHAJ 1610 AM, la voz de la comunidad, Toronto.
It's the morning of the day her life is gonna change, and it's quiet. She is in her hotel room. All the girls will be here soon, but not arrived yet. All the pieces of this dream, all the months imagining, and here she is. A bit of old, a bit of blue, a bit of borrowed, a bit of new, just like she's planned it. She's years of braids and ponytails, pink lemonade and fairy tales. And today she is a bride, and she's 6 years old inside her mother's eyes. Together on the bed, a picture-perfect wedding dress waits in the corner. A mother-daughter side by side. They don't speak so they don't cry. The day moves forward. Bit of lipstick, bit of blush, a bit of champagne, all because here she is, standing in her wedding day, with her beautiful bouquet, just like she's planned it. She's used the braids and ponytails, pink lemonade and fairy tales. And today she is a bride, and she's 6 years old inside her mother's eyes. She thinks about all that they've had. She knows love moves them forwards, not back. And she smiles 'cause she knows what they'll have. The years, the braids, the ponytails, pink lemonade and fairy tales. Is a bride, and she's 6 years old inside her mother's eyes. And today she is the bride, she's the passion, she's the pride, and she's the light in her mother's eyes.
And that's Rosanne Baker Thornley, and she's in studio with me today, and wow, what an amazing songwriter she is, and you know, her name is on so many different songs all over the place, and she's prolific. But she's finally, Rosanne, you got your own album out again. How long's it been?
28 years.
28 seconds. 28 short seconds.
Just a little bit of time.
Yeah, well, maybe just a little bit of time, but certainly, thank goodness, it's on time. And I love your album. I sat there and cried all the way through it. I couldn't stop. No, I had the dry heaves at one point, because even though it's an autobiographical album, and I could talk about all your incredible, you know, you've done so many things, you know, I mean, my gosh, we're going to talk about some of that today. But really, you have been evolving and expanding your relationship with music and writing for quite some time, as we know, because 28 years. You know, you've been around the block, but you're here, and the thing is that this music that you've written, it hits everybody's heart. It's one of the best CDs I've heard in such a long time.
Well,
the music is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Talk about this. Why 28 years? You've been very busy, I know.
Oh, Okay, where do you sort of start with that?
Yeah.
28 years ago, I put out an album called Courage.
Right.
That was my first album.
That was produced by Sony.
It was my distributor was Sony.
Oh, Sony.
I was working with Sony. And I had been on the road for a long time and decided I could have been on the road forever, but I wanted to get off the road to start focusing on a recording career.
Okay.
I loved being on the road. It was great. It's definitely an experience, life on the road. So I got off the road to do the album, started working on the album, had a Factor grant to do the album, which was nice. Yeah, that was great. And recorded the album. The album came out, but also at the same time, I also got pregnant. I was married, got pregnant, and was starting a family. So now there's a critical point in time where actually I made the decision to pull the album. So the album was out, and I was filming my video for it. And there was a part in the video where my husband had rode up on a bike with my daughter on the back.
Yeah.
And I was on set filming. And I had like the hair and just everything. And anyway, they were calling me back to set, saying, "Come on, we got to get going." And I, okay, we got to get going. And I watched them, my husband and my daughter, ride away on the bike.
Oh.
And it was that moment I just went, I'd rather go that way.
Right.
And definitely that was the moment. And I then called Sony and the people I was working with, and I said, I just want to shelve my album for a little bit. Because what I didn't expect to happen, I was all good. It was like, yes, I was pregnant, I had a baby, and I was all good.
Yeah.
But what I didn't expect was that my passion was going to change. I didn't expect that.
Babies change your life.
It
people don't
changed.
believe that, but it totally changes your life.
It changes your life, but also, as I'd said, I thought I was pretty confident in that I have a lot of energy. I can do it all. And I could do it all, but you can't do it all when your heart's not in it. So I stepped back. And during that time, I started running my own advertising agency, basically.
Cool.
Music was very much then in the background for me. I mean, my music has always been a very important part of who I am, but I kind of parked it a little bit over there. It was like I was writing, but my main focus was my family, because I was loving my family, having a family there. So, 28 years. Then I had an opportunity to write some songs. Years later, now we're talking years later, and I'm now, I'm writing. I've got an opportunity to actually step back into the market a little bit. And I was looking at this group out of California called Matrix. And Matrix was a writing group. There was 2 writers and a producer, and they worked with young artists. They actually worked with Avril Lavigne on her Skater Boy album.
Wow, I like that song, Skater Boy.
Yeah, the whole album was phenomenal.
It's great, yeah.
And I loved what they were doing. They were bringing young artists into the room who had, yes, they were talented, but they were helping them write songs. They were helping them put, just sort of give them a voice for how to get their songs across.
Yeah.
I tore out some articles about that, and I thought, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. I had never really done a lot of co-writing with people outside of the people in my band, really. I was always asked if I would, and I always no. I know I write songs for me.
And that's an interesting thing. It takes a lot to be able to put yourself out to help other people write a song, because it's a very personal thing.
It is. And at that
so personal.
And at that point in time, I really was just focused on writing songs for myself. So
Right.
I just never picked up on that with producers asking me. I was like, yeah, no, thank you, but no. So when I had this opportunity to do this writing, I had to do 6 songs in 6 weeks.
Wow.
And I did it. I thought I could do it, and I did it. And it was literally like a switch went back on in my head, and all I wanted to do was keep writing.
Wow.
And then I started thinking about this Matrix group in California, and I thought, okay, so maybe that's what I should be doing. So then I started calling up producers going, okay, and I'd parked the artist thing. The artist thing was parked for me. I was going to start writing with other people, which I did.
And that is where the money is, too, for a lot. I shouldn't back off, Joyce. I know, but they say, when you're writing for other people, especially if it's someone like Avril Lavigne or somebody who's, already in the 1%, and your song makes it, that's where the royalties come in, right?
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, well, there you go. This is the myth. This is the myth.
Yeah, there's a lot of myths.
There's a lot of myths.
There's a lot of myths.
Let's break the myths.
So anyway, I stepped back in. I started writing with more people, which I was really enjoying. And still writing songs for myself. And at one point in time, not too long ago, I had written a song, and I didn't want to sing it. I'd written it, and I was going to get someone else to sing it, but I couldn't find anybody that it really sat well with me when they were singing it. So my producer said to me, maybe this is your song to do.
Ah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I am done with that. And he was like, well, I don't know. I mean, why don't you sing this one? So I did. I sang the song. I thought, okay, there we go. Well, maybe I'll do a video for that.
Yeah.
So then I was back on this track of, you know what? The biggest thing for me about having the album out now is that I'm current again.
Well, we're going to be coming up to break soon, but I want to play another one of your tunes before we go to break. Which one would you like me to play?
Ooh, maybe Sorry I'm Late. It just makes sense to play that right now.
Sorry I'm Late. Okay, so we're going to put that down in here, and we're going to cue it to be next, and we're going to listen to Sorry I'm Late. Sorry I'm Late, which is, never better late than never.
Yeah, that's right.
Here we go. Rosanne Baker Thornley.
Had an obligation I had to keep, a conversation I couldn't leave, a ton to do so I didn't sleep, a lot of people I wanted to please. Had a pile of clothes I had to wash, had to raise the kid and walk the dog, grab the groceries and drop them off, had so much to do that I forgot. Sorry I'm late, but there's 1,000 things I had to do today, and another 1,000 things that I would love to chase, that have to wait. Sorry I'm late. Had a stack of bills I had to pay, at 25 years I know that saved me. Had a moment there where I kinda wanted, thought I had enough time, but it took longer. I got caught on another road and the clock didn't stop, and I got older. There were years there where I lost a page, had a lot of plans I couldn't change. Sorry I'm late, but there's 1,000 things I had to do today, and another 1,000 things that I would love to chase, that have to wait. Sorry I'm late. 22 turns 29, 31 turns 35, 41 and 43 run quickly into 50, and 51 meets 53, and right beside is 55, and 56 I can't believe when it's standing right at 60. Sorry I'm late, but there's 1,000 things I had to do today, and another 1,000 things that I would love to chase, that have to wait. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Sorry.
And that's Rosanne Baker Thornley with Sorry I'm Late from her album Sorry I'm Late. That's the title track, and it's 7:14 here at CHHA, and it's 18 degrees. And when we come back, Rosanne, I want to play Strong. Want to give us a little bit of a back story there, a little short one?
Oh, Strong. The thinking behind Strong. Basically watching things fall apart a lot of times, that things you have no control over, and looking for an inner strength that everybody has. And sometimes you have to really go through hell to find that you are stronger than you ever would think you are.
Okay, well, we're going to come back with Rosanne Baker Thornley's song Strong. And I will tell you, I cried right through this album, and I'm sure a lot of you out there, even though this is an autobiographical album, they say, for you, Rosanne, we can all relate. Anyway, we'll be back right after this.
Listen to us all around the world. Visit chha1610am.ca for new content daily.
This I told myself I should let go 100 times or more, and so I'm sorry, but I can't let you go. Wish I didn't need this and everything beneath it. Sometimes it gets so hard, it's pulling me apart and I can't stand it, but I can't let you go. How do you leave behind what you want? How do you dial it down and turn it off? How do you say goodbye and move along? How is anyone that strong? Maybe if I try, it hurts less inside. If I stop needing to explain the feelings I can't change and I don't like it, but I can't let you go. How do you leave behind what you want? How do you dial it down and turn it off? How do you say goodbye and move along? How is anyone that strong? If the truth can set you free, then I confess that this is killing me. All the pieces from the past and all the days I can't get back. Every day that I can't have. How do I get over that? How do you leave behind what you want? How do you dial it down and turn it off? How do you say goodbye and move along? How is anyone that strong? 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 Tell me, how is anyone that strong?
Yes, tell me, how is anyone that strong? It takes a lot of strength to leave something behind that you really want. That's the lyrics. Let's talk about your lyrics, Rosanne.
Okay.
Come forward, come hither, and talk about those amazing lyrics, because your lyrics and the warmth of your voice, the depth of your voice, it permeates my soul.
Oh.
And you've had people come up to you, haven't you?
I have.
And what have they said?
Well, just that it's so relatable, and that they feel that I'm writing about their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say, this is where I'm going to explain about this movie I saw, Simply Irresistible.
Yes, go ahead.
It's an interesting analogy, because I've just had so many people comment on they're so connected to the music. There's this movie called Simply Irresistible, and it's a chef, and she's having trouble attracting people to a restaurant. And she goes to the market, and at the market, this is an old movie.
There's very relatable now.
Okay, but at the market, there's this crab that she ends up taking back to the restaurant with her, who lives sort of in the corner of her kitchen. But what it does is it casts this, I guess we'll say it's like magic. It's like magic that whatever she cooks, whatever she's feeling, goes right into the food. So when she serves that food in her restaurant, people feel, and it gives me a shiver when I talk about it.
Yeah.
People feel exactly what she was feeling when she was cooking the food. So to me, I know it's silly, but so I joke about the magic crab, and it's really kind of a silly movie. But I think I love that because I'm definitely feeling when I'm writing those songs. I am feeling every moment. I am in those moments. And I was going to say also in Strong, it wasn't just about me, a lot of these songs. I'm also looking at people around me. And I had a friend who just lost somebody very close to them. And he was battling with how to get through. I know he was. He was battling with I don't know how to be strong. So it took on that shape and form that was talking to him as well. So anyway, that's what I joke that it's like the magic crab. And whatever I'm feeling at the time I'm writing is so connecting with people. I was talking to a woman the other day, and she was just talking about the songs, and she was in tears.
It's true. I mean, I started crying during Strong because because images of your life, things that you had to walk away from, and you think, how was it that I had to be that strong to walk away? How hard was that? And it's like it's like it's happening again, you know. But that's the thing about artists, you know. You're the artist, you're the writer, you're somewhere in between, you say. But the thing is that it's being able to see those things, to capture those moments, to not only to be into yourself, but to be noticing what's going on around you, be sensitive enough and empathic enough to say, wow, you know, look what people are going through, and be able to write about it. Gordon Lightfoot did that, and they also say you're kind of like a Gordon Lightfoot in that way. That's, you know.
Such an honor.
It is an honor. He wrote things about his own life, like If You Could Read My Mind, but also other things, whatever he noticed. Hey, even Stompin' Tom Connors.
Yeah.
I like Stompin' Tom. You know
Yeah.
what? Great Canadians, I find, are the best storytellers.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in our long, dark winter nights, but fabulous. So yeah, that's an amazing song. But we're going to, of course, I want to just play music. I want to play lots of music. I don't want to hear about what you're doing too, because you've got the acoustic guitar project, which is really cool. You know.
I have my hands in so many.
You collaborate with so many people. Let's talk about that.
I do. That's a very, very important part of my life, and it's not dissimilar to being in the room myself and writing a song all by myself. I very much function on feeling.
Okay.
When I'm writing for myself as well, I'm walking myself literally through almost a video of looking and trying to explain what it is I'm feeling. And it's nice that that's making it through to people. But also when I'm writing with other people, it's the same thing for me. People will say to me, "So, what kind of music do you write?" And I say, well, it all depends on who's sitting in front of me. So if I have somebody who is like heavy metal, he's got a certain demeanor and a certain personality in that. If I'm writing with someone who's jazz, they have a certain and they have their own heart in it, which to me is so important. I always will talk about writing these songs that we don't need a lot of anything around it. We just need them to be singing it and sharing who they are through the songs. So I write with all different people. I work with fabulous people with fabulous voices, fabulous hearts, and it's a very important part of my life.
And you work out of the Kensington
Sound.
Yeah. And what I was saying, that's my favorite vacation place. When I'm down, I go to Kensington, but now it's Kensington Sound. So, a little bit about that.
Oh, Kensington Sound, they've been there for 50 years.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
They've been around for 50 years, and that's where I recorded my album during COVID. And I just want to jump in and say, I listen to Strong. I've got to say, I am floored by the musicianship in that song, and I've got to say that, for one, Will Scholar produced my album, and Will listens to the songs. He listens to the artist. He doesn't just take his style and go, this is what you're going to be in. He listens to what it is, the mood, the sentiment. And that's key. It's very key to artists to work with people who understand who you are as an artist,
yes,
and understand your music. So there's space for you.
Yes.
It's all about finding space for you.
It's not a big ego saying, okay, could you
No.
just, I want you to do it this way, this way, this way, and this way. I hate that.
No, it's got, they have to be able to understand where you're coming from and be able to hear, really, when I say hear you.
Yeah.
So Will Scholar produced it. Ben Pelchet mixed it with Will, and Ben is a very close friend. We do quite a bit of writing together as well. Mm-hmm. Playing drums on it is Mark Kelso. And
Mark is wonderful.
He's amazing. And Mark goes back to my first album, Courage. He was on my first album. We did some touring together back then. He will be in my live band now as well.
Wow.
Kevin Fox is a cellist and a acoustic guitar player, writer. He's all these things as well. And he played on that song. He played cello at the very end on that song.
Cello is very important for your music.
It is.
The cello sings.
Yeah,
it's cello
amazing.
Is an emotive
It's amazing.
instrument. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
So he played cello on the album as well. And it was engineered by Andy Krem.
Oh, Andy. Andy is an award-winning.
He is.
I love Andy. Silver Birch Music.
Yes.
Yeah.
And originally, funnily enough, Andy was my original producer of my first album and my manager. And then during my last project, he decided he wanted to get more into mastering. And I don't blame him for not wanting to manage anymore.
He mastered 2 of my albums.
Yeah.
He's a master of mastering.
And we're still working together. So
Yeah.
he mastered this album. He also does all the mastering for my other artists as well
Wonderful.
that I'm working with. So I just wanted to do that sort of shout out for that. And Vasey also engineered one of the songs on the album. And I also co-wrote a couple of the songs with Northeastern, who's my writing partner. And he also performed on the songs with me. So a very small knit group, but a very solid group. And Michael Wycraft designed my album cover as well.
The late Michael Wycraft.
Yes.
And this would be, I think, maybe one of the last ones that he designed.
It was.
And it's so etheric because it's your silhouette with a tree in it. And he asked you for a silhouette.
He did.
It's like asking you for your soul. It's your soul here.
And he loved it. I would, funnily enough, again, I would call him and he'd say, I'm sitting here and I'm crying through this album again. So
a schlocky soul. Dear Michael, if you're hearing us right now, we're looking at your beautiful work and playing Rosanne Baker Thornley's beautiful music. We're going to come back with Falling.
Oh, okay. That's not on the album, but that's okay. That's interesting.
Oh, that's from 2017.
Yeah.
Why is that there?
That's funny.
That came up in because you were here before.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the ones we played.
That's one of the You know what? We're going to play it.
Okay. Sure.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it was
meant to be,
song.
And I was looking at. Oh my gosh. Okay, so.
I haven't heard it in a while.
But you know what?
It
says "Sorry, I'm Late." It's actually it came up as one of the
that's interesting.
Yeah, in yes, it did.
Technology, love it when it works,
and love it when it's spooky. We'll be back with Falling. Oh, and we'll never know what happens here at the Joyce Aldrich Show. We'll be back right after this.
You are listening to The Joyce Aldrich Show at CHAJ 1610 AM. La voz de la comunidad, Toronto.
If you have a change of heart and everything just falls apart and all you got gets tangled up in you, when it's too much for you to hold and everything unfolds around you, anything you try is never true. When you're falling, you can't find your feet. Promise I will keep a place for you to land. When you're falling, grabbing for the sky, you should know that I catch you when you fall. When belief is all you're following, those days when you step in and you are someone else, when your dreams are brighter than the climb, life's full but you can't find the pieces of yourself. When you're falling, you can't find your feet, a promise I will keep, a place for you to land. When you're falling, grabbing for the sky, you should know that I will catch you when you fall. I'll catch you when you fall. When you're falling, you can't find your feet, you need someone to keep, a place for you to land. When you're falling, grabbing for the sky, you can close your eyes, I'll catch you when you fall. When you're falling and you can't find your feet, promise I will keep, a place for you to land. When you're falling, grabbing for the sky, you should know that I will catch you when you fall. I'll catch you when you fall. Catch you when you fall. Catch you when you fall. Catch you when you fall.
Falling, and that song just happened to just fall into the Sorry I'm Late CD category. That was really spooky.
But you know, it's funny, that song is a song that I recorded not for any purpose of being an artist. That was just another song I'd written, and I recorded it, and actually Will is playing guitar. Will Scholar, who's now my producer, played guitar on that track. It's just, it's nice to hear it. I haven't heard it in a little while. So.
Well, it was meant to be, obviously, because it was sort of a freakazoid kind of thing that happened. Now, you just, you've been shooting a video?
I am shooting a video.
You are shooting a video.
It's been a pretty crazy couple weeks. I released a single on Friday. I don't remember what the date was. A couple Fridays ago. Right. And it was for an acoustic version of one of the songs on the album called Because of Me. And we released it as a single as well, the acoustic version. And it's what, and then during the weekend, we filmed a video for Give Me One More Night. Which is another song that's on the album, and very much it's more of a film than it is. Obviously it's a music video, but we filmed it more as a film as opposed to just.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
it's like your crab film.
Well, it's interesting because
simply irresistible.
Yeah, but I'm working with a director. Her name is Jamie Daza, and my cinematographer. His name is Martum Mikolecki. And just a fabulous eye. They both have a fabulous eye, which makes all the difference in bringing forward a story. Because I was going to say, when I write, I see video in my head. It doesn't mean that necessarily ends up being the video, but it's how I write. I am right in the moment of writing it. So it's very important to me how it translates into a visual, that people are actually watching a visual as well as listening to the song. So that would be Give Me One More Night. That is what we just finished filming.
Well, why don't we listen to that right now?
Okay.
Then? We'll listen to Give Me One More Night. And this is, when's the video, do you think, going to be coming out?
The video will be coming out in early August.
Oh, great.
So I was just going to say, even though the album is out right now.
Yeah.
But we are still releasing singles from it. So, and what although the album is out, it's about pointing people to the songs. And singling them out, I guess, is what you could say we're doing. And so we're developing, the same is going to happen with Her Mother's Eyes.
Oh, I love that. That's a beautiful song.
That will come out next
spring.
And
what about In Paris? Is something
In
going
Paris,
on with that as well?
That came out. That was one of the first singles that came out. There was Strong was the first. In Paris was the next one.
Right.
Because of Me was that followed that, but the full version from the album. Sorry I'm Late. And now we're going back with some acoustic versions of the songs, because I love doing that just with guitar, because it's where it starts. It's where it starts, just with the guitar. And yeah, that's...
And I might as well talk about your playing. Not that I'm a musician and can really speak to that very well, because I can play the radio, But I find that you go sometimes from a very soft to very stronger, like stronger playing. It's not chords because you play,
I do a lot of picking.
Yeah.
When I write, I'm playing with a lot of picking.
Yeah.
In all my live versions.
But you've got this dynamic when you play that I noticed that, you can go, you'll be playing soft and all of a sudden, boom, you're right into the, the really heavy duty.
Much of my guitar playing on the album is Will Scholar playing. He is playing a lot of guitar and he's definitely captured a lot of what I do, and I mean, kudos to him, because he's just such an amazing guitar player himself.
And kudos for you for saying that, because I was listening to it and I thought, wow, this is like this whole dynamic.
It's the ambience of it. He's
Absolutely.
a very ambient.
Well, it's like it flows. It flows with. It's not just somebody reading, the chords and the playing the music and getting through it. It's so much more.
That's what I mean about serving the song.
Yes.
Instead of just doing what he does, he's listening to the song going, what's the mood here? What are we trying to get across? I love that the production on the album, all the songs are produced the way the songs need to be produced. They're not overproduced. There's a lot of simplicity. There's a lot of ambience. It's serving the song, which I love.
And you can hear all the instruments. It's and where he's placed everything is absolutely beautifully produced. Oh, I can hardly wait. I just love your music, and this album is stellar. It is one of the best. I'd say it's the best CD I've heard in quite a few years, to be honest.
Thank you.
And for anyone who's listening, I pray I don't hurt anyone's feelings, but there's something about this. It goes beyond. It's soulful.
Thank you.
It's soulful. So we're gonna listen to "Give Me One More Night."
With the cello by Kevin Fox.
There you go.
That I've laid here, I just assumed that all the years would come and go and you'd be near. All the nights you held me close, we laughed about who loved who the most. I never thought they'd disappear. I can hear your heartbeat, I can feel your breath, I can feel your warmth inside my chest. I can feel your fingers softly touch my chin. I can feel your lips against my skin. You know that it's the hardest part, to reach to touch you in the dark and realize that you're not here. I close my eyes and try to sleep, but it keeps coming back to me. I always thought I'd be where you are. I can hear your heartbeat, I can feel your breath, I can feel your warmth inside my chest. I can can feel your fingers softly touch my chin. I can feel your lips against my skin. I don't wanna leave, I don't wanna stay. Give me one more night for what I need to say. With endless things I should have said, and sunlight is climbing up the wall. I wonder if you really knew how much I wanted you. I should have said it all. I can hear your heartbeat, I can feel your breath, I can feel your warmth inside my chest. I can feel your fingers softly touch my chin. I can feel your lips against my skin. I can hear your heartbeat, I can feel your breath, I can feel your warmth inside my chest. I can feel your fingers softly touch my chin. I can feel your lips against my skin. I don't wanna leave, I don't wanna stay. Give me one more night for what I need to say. I don't wanna leave, I don't wanna stay. Give me one more night.
Rosanne Baker Thornley and her beautiful song, Give Me One More Night. And she's working on a wonderful video for that. We're looking forward to that. And this is where we say you got to go get Rosanne Baker Thornley's music and go to her website. And that would be rbtsong.com. So you don't have to know how to spell Rosanne Baker Thornley. Very clever of you, Rosanne. Very clever, because Rosanne without an E. Okay, like that's like Liza without it. Okay, so it's RB as in Bob or Baker, rbtsong.com, and they can get your music there too.
My music is there.
The whole shebang.
And it's, I mean, the best place to support any artist, for the most part, is through their own websites or whatever channels they're sending you to. Streaming's great. It's great for some visibility, but really the difference is in actually going to their site or whatever and supporting them through purchasing the album or purchasing singles or whatever.
And if they do get your CD, the physical CD, how beautiful it is. It's got a beautiful booklet in it. You can sing along with the songs. You'll get probably, sadly, the last of Michael Wycraft's wonderful work. He tremendous. He did Gordon Lightfoot's. So many great musicians. You know, who you share that with Gordon as well, Michael. So let's talk a little bit about you being the Toronto curator for the New York-based Global Songwriting Initiative, the Acoustic Guitar Project. What is that?
Well, I'm going to say that song, Give Me One More Night, I wrote for the Acoustic Guitar Project.
Oh, okay.
So what it is a gentleman in New York City who developed this sort of initiative where cities around the world, I think there's 52 cities that have a guitar, and they have a curator in each city.
Okay.
And the goal, the task is, as a curator, you invite 5 different writers each year to the project, and it works that you get the guitar, and you have to write a song. You have 1 week to write a song. No production. It's all about the song. So you play it, you record it on your phone or whatever you have to record on. There's no effects. It's truly all about the song.
Sure.
And then you pass it on to the next writer.
Oh.
And it goes through 5 writers every year. So I think I've done it since 2016. And it had some fantastic people as part of the project. I've had Julian Taylor as part of the project, Susie Vinnick, Blair Packham.
Huh.
I mean, it's just
Heavy hitters.
Ken Yates. It's just, there's so many great people, which I love doing because I get the
all
opportunity.
Canadians.
Yeah, and I have the opportunity, and they're all from Toronto. They're all from this area.
Toronto is incredible.
But every city, that's what I'm saying.
Every city,
They're in New York, they're in LA, they're in Paris. So there's a curator in each city. We'll say, I think there's 52 cities. But with Give Me One More Night, so as the curator, I could write a song one time. I can write one song. So I picked the first year.
Okay.
And when I knew it was going to be my time to get the guitar, I was like, I am going to write a happy song. I was determined to write a very uplifting, happy song. I didn't know what it was going to be about. I just knew it was going to be uplifting. Well, the week before I got the guitar, a good friend of mine went out to play hockey, and he collapsed on the ice of a major heart attack.
How can you write a happy song after that?
So what was affecting me the most about it, I mean, I was obviously shocked and not in a particularly great space with that. So now I'm sitting in my studio, and I just start playing those chords over and over and over and over, going, well, this is not my happy song. But I couldn't stop thinking about his wife.
Oh.
And from her perspective of, he was supposed to come home. Everybody always comes home. That's always what we think, is that every day people go away, but they come home. They go away, they come home. But he didn't. So I wrote it from the perspective of through her eyes, going, just give me one more night. So whenever I have played that song live, I have a lot of people coming up to me just, again, in tears saying, you wrote that song for me because something's happened in their life where they've lost somebody. It doesn't mean they've passed on, but it means maybe they've left or something has happened where you're missing that person.
No longer together, even
Right.
long distance relationships, even anything.
It's whatever.
Divorce, separation, whatever.
That. And so that's why I wrote Give Me One More Night, and it found its way onto the album. I mean, I had many songs that could have found their way onto the album, like Falling, which we played earlier. But
obviously it is on your
album. It is on for tonight.
It's in the spooky, spooky area of your... Oh, my, that's weird.
So that's the story behind Give Me One More Night.
That's a beautiful
And the
story.
Acoustic Guitar Project, of course.
Yes,
so
together.
Every year I look for 5 people that I would like to... So I curate it as far as... I want to have somebody who's new world. I want to have somebody who's all the diversity of it. I love the diversity of it, of the people that have played for the project and written songs for it.
Yeah, you get that's the beauty of it, and that takes a big heart, to be. But once you get into it, it must be so empowering.
It's great, and we didn't hold obviously any concerts over COVID, but I would like to get back to doing that again as well. So people were coming in and, checking out new people. They were just like, I didn't even know this kind of music existed out there.
So your
except for radio.
concerts will be on the RBT song.com.
They would be.
They would be. So watch for all of that, everybody. RBTsong.com. I can't believe it. It's 7:52.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got to play one more song and then say our goodbyes.
Okay.
Our adioses or whatever. What would you like to hear?
Let's see.
Our audience to hear.
Maybe we should play Look Up.
Oh, yes, we can do that. I can put that over here. Okay. Look Up. This is Look Up from Sorry I'm Late. Rosanne Baker Thornley's latest and greatest, I'd say, CD. That's a terrible thing, but it's wonderful, wonderful. So this is Look Up. I love this one. I love this song.
And this is with my co-writer, Northeastern, who's also singing on this with me.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It's got a lot of story behind it, too, but I'll let you play the song.
Oh, okay.
She was just a little girl with her fingers tightly curled around her daddy's every time he went away. And when the tears came pouring in, he'd take his hand and lift her chin. He'd smile into her eyes and then he'd say, look up, I'm gonna be back here real soon. Look up, We'll share that big old moon. It don't matter where we are. We'll always have those stars, and everything will be okay if you look up. She was barely 17, with a suitcase full of dreams. They were quiet on the drive to catch the train. It was hard to say goodbye. She'd never seen her daddy cry. She fell into his arms and heard him say, look up. You're gonna be back here real soon. Look up. We'll share that big old moon. It don't matter where we are. We'll always have those stars, and everything will be okay if you look up. Look up. All the years they went by fast, each one better than the last. And every moment, big and small, she really had it all. And she got the call. Black umbrellas in the rain, the teardrops on her face. She lifts her daughter's chin and says, look up. It's gonna be okay real soon. Look up. We'll share that big old moon. It don't matter where we are. We'll always have those stars, and everything will be okay if you. Everything will be okay if you. Oh, everything will be okay if you. Look up. Look up. Look up.
Look up and look out for Rosanne Baker Thornley, rbtsong.com. We're going to be jumping to commercial really fast at 7:58 because we just do, but we're going to have you stay for a little while longer into the second hour just to talk about this wonderful story behind Look Up that you have tattooed on your arm. We have to hear this story, so we'll be back right after these messages, and you're listening to the Joyce Aldrich Show, and I have Rosanne Baker Thornley in studio, and we're listening to her amazing music from her album. We've got right here, we've got the beautiful album, Rosanne Baker Thornley, and that's the Sorry I'm Late. And, we won't be late. We won't be late. We're going to come back and hear more from Rosanne Baker Thornley after this.
You are listening to The Joyce Aldrich Show at CHAJ 1610 AM. La voz de la comunidad, Toronto.
Well, Look Up. Okay. Like it seems many of the songs on my album, this was written, it was inspired by my daughter. And at one point, my daughter was living in New York City and studying ballet in New York City. And she would go back to her room at night and she was quiet. And she would be like, well, I'm kind of missing home right now. And I don't know what to do tonight. And, I'm just kind of like to be home. So I would say to her, just go to the window and look out and look at the moon. We're both looking at the same moon. So it really stemmed, that whole song stemmed from that. It's one of the first songs North and I wrote. And we took the notion of that and wrote our story around it. It was the same thinking with us walking through the video and what do we see and what do we feel. And that's just where we both went with this song, was inspired by the notion of looking up at the moon and sharing that with somebody, and that's always there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so that's, and I do have it tattooed on my arm because it has a number of meanings to me. For one, it's the song, it's also my writing relationship with North, it's also my relationship with my daughter, and also my perspective on things. It really is about look up. I mean, just keep going.
Look up and look out and forward. Look forward.
Look forward.
Yeah,
look up, but look up.
Look up.
Be positive. It's up is in positive.
It is. It's absolutely positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on the Joyce Aldrich Show at CHHA. It's been too long since I had you in, and of course, I even played one of the songs we played last time you were in, and said it was off your album. So that's a spooky, but that's okay. We're going to have you back. Gotta have you back
at some
point.
It's been a pleasure.
And your music is going to get a lot of airplay. Let me tell you, it deserves. There's so many songs we haven't heard, and we're going to hear them. And when you have some events, we'll keep our eye out open for at rbtsong.com.
Well, and I'll let you know when there's a show. In the fall.
Let us know when there's a show. Yeah, and I'll announce it. Absolutely.
Great. That'd be fabulous.
Let's communicate. This is radio, and that's what radio is all about. And at CHHA, we're here to promote local talent. Not top 40. I would love to see you in top 40, though. When you get to top 40, we'll have to flip you from the local artist into the international artist. We're allowed to play 25% international artists, so you'll be in there.
Okay, thank you.
I can hardly wait to see you there. Really, seriously, this is your time, I think.
Well, it's nice to hear that it is resonating all over the world. I have people that are messaging me from Brazil.
Germany.
Google Translate has become my friend. Because I'm getting messages in Greek. I'm getting messages in French. People are asking me to translate the lyrics for them, or what are the lyrics, so that they can translate them, which I'm also going to be posting as well. So people, you can find them, but I'm just going to post things like that.
Absolutely. So watch that. Okay, so rbtsong.com. We're going to let you go. And I'm going to go now and play a Blair Packham song called Road to Discovery. A great song.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.